most respected chief guest of today's inaugural of the conference, Professor Raghuvanshi. See, we are used to referring everyone as Professor whosoever comes to the education institution, so Mr. Raghuvanshi. Interestingly, he happens to be an alumnus of University of Lucknow, where I am currently working as Vice Chancellor, and also Banaras Hindu University, which has been my alma mater and also my parent organization. The guest of honor and former Director General, Drug Controller of India, Professor Singh, Mr. Singh, our keynote speaker, Professor Magnani, our Dean Faculty of Engineering, Professor A.K. Singh Sahab, the organizing secretary of this international conference on drug development and drug delivery, and director of Institute of Pharmacy, Dr. Pushpin Tripathi ji, our Dean Faculty of Law, Faculty of Yoga, our Dean Academics, and Dean Admission, our Director of Institute of Management Studies, very esteemed alumnus of University of Lucknow, Professor Alok Dhawanji, Director CBMR, very distinguished dignitaries who have taken pain how to come to this international conference, dear delegates, students and friends from media. At the outset, let me formally take the opportunity to congratulate Institute of Pharmacy, which is a very, very baby institution of this 103 years old, as the Dean Faculty of Engineering was saying, that it's a 3 years old baby in a 103 years old university, but is doing exceptionally well. And I'll cite some of the instances which will enable you to muster confidence in the strength of Institute of Pharmacy. Is that during the 3 years inception of this institute, of course, pharmacy seats are being filled at majority of places, but then Pharmacy Council of India has not been as liberal as other regulatory bodies. And at the time when we started and our first inspection went on, from University of Agra to MMTU Gorakhpur, all the universities got a seat cut. We got 100% seats sanctioned at the first go. Then, since our first year of admission, there has been a complete maramari for admission to our institute. We got 6 labs inaugurated in one day, and at most of the occasions, this institute lived up to the expectation of not just university but also of society by coming up with certain innovative product. And when I say product, I mean that conversion of knowledge into a meaningful output in form of maybe some specialized kind of sanitizer to some alkaline water to whatnot. You know, you think of, and I was expecting some such things being shared with very distinguished drug controller of India. But then during the course of 2 days program, a lot will be certainly shared. So I congratulate Institute of Pharmaceutical Sciences for coming up with lots of innovations, and every year they keep organizing at least nationwide programs. This year also they changed the scale and upscaled it from national to international, and certainly we have received a lot of international delegates in form of physical as well as virtual forms. Our chief guest was very aptly referring to the crux of national education policy in terms of pharmacy education, and this is where I find the very, very appropriate role that universities are placed at. Like, we talk of interconnection of different disciplines in furtherance and deepening of pharmacy education. I refer to biotechnology, I refer to technology, I refer to management. I would add to the education of law. Of course, medical education is one thing that we do not have, but we can certainly find some form in some nearby institutions. And with this, we offer a complete package of pharmacy education. And this is where the value addition to pharmacy education comes in. Because in an isolated institution, it would strictly be confined only to the key domain area. But if the institution is placed in a multidisciplinary institution which has education of biotechnology, which has education of technology, which has education of law, which has education of management, then the formal output, the final output becomes more meaningful. And this adds up to us to add greater value. And this is where the modern and the future of the business is going to be at, from volume to value. And this is what our very honorable Chief Guest was referring to. Having said this, there are few things that I would certainly like to or I wish to see, if at all, the sessions ponder over. You know, drugs, medicines are very, very inseparable part of human life, but pricing has become a very, very important issue, especially when it comes to the masses or the bottom of pyramid. It becomes a very, very significant issue. How can that be attended? That is indeed a very, very important and pertinent issue to be shared, to be deliberated upon, and something to be arrived at. Another very important thing, and I keep, because we also take medicines, so I keep finding, like, you take medicine and you don't find the effect. It has become so common, this fake drug business has become so common, that we keep thinking of that, am I consuming the right thing? This sense of distrust has got to go away. So there has to have certain easy, accessible and economical mechanism made available to common people to attend this issue of, or at least identification of, fake drugs. So that is another very important issue that I believe this 2 days deliberation will certainly ponder over. Another very important, and that is something which is very, very close to my heart, and that is participation of students in the process of drug development and delivery. I remember a couple of my students at BHU, one from my faculty of management, one from Institute of Technology, BHU. They both collaborated and formed an online portal for drug delivery. Delivery, you mean, you just give in a call. First they started with give a call and drug will be delivered at your doorstep. Then they formed a portal, you log in, and then a lot of other things, new things that you keep finding. Through online e-business model, they initiated this. But they were not very confident, and they were not getting venture capitalists. Why? Because they said probably pharmacy business mein this form of delivery is not allowed. And I'm talking a few years back story. Then finally they sold their business to 1mg and they got a very handsome, initially they got some business, some investor, I believe, because they used to keep interacting with me on their financial models and other things. And I believe in one of the investors they found out in a flight who first, their initial capitalization of the firm, these two students only, they were, one was management student, one was BTech student. They found this, and the first capitalization they found for their firm was 1,60,000. I'm telling you a story of around 10-12 years back. And then at the next step, I calculated it was coming to be 5.6 crores. Finally, they sold their business to 1mg, and that is the student, that management student, he also got an employment opportunity at a 36 lakhs package with investment stake and that share also. So of late government started allowing all that as well. So there are enormous opportunity that comes in the field of delivery of drugs, and I would want the students also to think on that line and come up with, beyond this e-business model, can we think of something new, because development is very, very technical process, but because of the availability of different disciplines in an institution like University of Lucknow, you can certainly collaborate with the students of other disciplines and come up with certain business models which may be good for you as well as for the system and society. I finally take the opportunity again to wish some meaningful outcome coming out of this conference. Let the international and the people who have joined virtually be also provided with an opportunity to share their views, participate in the deliberation, lodge their all the perspectives that they want to, and greater participation from the student, because ultimately they are the future of the industry and also of the university. So my sincere wishes for a grand success to this program, and I again extend my sincere wishes for the successful outcome of this program. Thank you.